Hey guys, this is Jannike, the founder of Wisdom from North, the place for you to expand your consciousness. And my passion is to help people step into their authentic and true soul power. Now in this video, I will speak about how we can connect with our inner child and why it is so beneficial to do so. So before I began the spiritual path, I thought that I had had the perfect childhood because, let's face it, everything came to me as a child on a silver platter, it seemed like. I was a musical theater artist and I got all these roles, so I thought basically there was nothing to look into and that I just needed to be grateful. It wasn't before I met a trauma specialist that I understood that we all have had, in fact, traumas. And that it wasn't anything wrong with me looking into the past, because before I thought that I was blaming my parents and I was basically saying that they did something wrong if I looked into my past. But then I understood that I was only putting on these magnifying glasses and just looking into my past to understand who I am today and what has happened that has made me be the person I am today. Now, I interviewed a trauma specialist many years ago called Lynn Stokke, and she's saying that we all have had traumas. It's a part of life. It's a natural part of life, and we can have big and small traumas. It's not only those who are experiencing deep shocks and tragic experiences that have traumas. We all have had traumas, and we have different individual nervous systems, she told me. So it depends on your nervous system how you will experience a trauma and how deep it will influence your being. Now, what do we tend to do as human beings? Many times when we experience something really difficult, we are suppressing those emotions. Now, what do animals do or children do? Well, let's talk about the animals first. Well, imagine this zebra in Africa that is being hunted by a lion. Well, after that, they are shaking it off. They are experiencing a trauma and they are shaking off the trauma. But what do we humans do? Well, we often, especially as adults, we're like suppressing it. We don't want to cry. We don't want to show that this was affecting us, or we're actually moving out of our bodies, not to experience it, which is actually a helping mechanism, because if the trauma is too big, it can be too much for the body to experience. So if you have experienced deep traumas, I highly recommend to see a trauma specialist. But in this video, I will more talk about the smaller traumas that we all have experienced, like losing a bear, for instance, losing your teddy bear when you were young, or not being part of, the soccer team, or being picked out, in school at this team or that team, or just feeling like you're not part of the gang. That can be a big trauma for the child. Now, it's interesting to see also that a lot of kids are very good at dealing with smaller traumas because they often cry a lot. And when they cry, they shiver, right? Like they're shaking it out. And that is really good because then they're letting these emotions really express themselves. So they're not carrying these emotions with them as adults. So that can be a great thing for us as well as adults when we feel like our legs are like shaking. You can't see my leg right now. When it's shaking, I believe that is actually a form of trauma that wants to just release out of the body so we don't have to carry it around. So let your body shake. It can be a really good thing to shake your body a lot to release trauma that has been stuck for years. Now, let's talk about the inner child. As children, we create meaning out of everything that is happening within us. When I interviewed Bruce Lipton in 2015, he was saying that from we are 0 to around 6-7 years old, our brains are on this alpha state. So we're basically these recording machines. So everything the adults are saying around us, or the people who are close to us, whatever they are saying, doing, we are just recording it. We're not questioning what they're doing because we're so loyal to our parents. Like our parents and those who are bringing us up, raising us, they are like gods for the child. And also, it is said that we learn as children in 3 ways. We learn through verbal conditioning, we learn through specific experiences that happens that we create a meaning out of, and we learn through modeling. So we see the adults or those close to us do something, and then we model it without even questioning it. Now, all these things that we're learning and these experiences that we have goes deep down into the subconsciousness. So for instance, if you lost your teddy bear when you were like 5 years old and those who were raising you did not acknowledge your grief about that teddy bear, that perhaps they were saying that, oh, it's just a teddy bear, you can get a new one. And you were, crying and you wanted to really be met. The child is creating a meaning out of that experience. And that is why it is so important that we as adults, when we have kids, that we are acknowledging how they're feeling. Because the child is just feeling what they are feeling, but they have to be allowed to feel whatever they are feeling, because just, not getting that soda or not getting that chocolate can be big to the child. And we got to understand that they live in a totally different reality. They're living through their emotions only. And when we're saying that, oh, you shouldn't cry over that soda, they're not rational. So they just feel then that my emotions are wrong. So Einstein and so many scientists were telling us that everything happens now. That means that we can go back in the past and meet the younger parts of ourselves and let them know that it was totally okay to feel how they felt. And we have so many inner children inside of us. They're still there, wanting our loving attention. And if we cannot get it, from the outside, from our parents. Maybe we long for a father to just acknowledge us. We long for our mothers to see us more. Well, we cannot change anybody else. We can only change ourselves. But here is actually not about changing anything. It's about meeting your inner child and connect or establish a deeper connection with them. Now, what is important is that when we go back and we meet our inner children, is not to feel that we need to fix them, because there's nothing to fix. If we go back and feel like, okay, it's okay to feel how you felt. So do you feel better now? Am I healing now? No. Then the children will feel like, you're not meeting me. I just want to be seen. I don't want to be fixed. I want to feel that I'm okay. So we need to go back to our past, meeting our inner children, not feeling that there's anything to fix, being there because we want to be there with them. We want to be there with them. And I actually have a gift for you, because this can be quite an overwhelming exercise if you haven't done it before. Maybe things will come up, and then it can be good to have some guidance. So I made a free meditation for you where you are guided to meet your inner child. And whoever is popping up is the child that really wants your attention. And the focus here is just to be there with that child, letting her or him know that you love them, that you will always be there for them, that they can always come to you, and that it was okay for them to feel whatever they were feeling. So you're meeting them, you're seeing them, and you're acknowledging them. And this is a meditation you can do again and again. And I actually have this exercise where I'm sitting on the bus and I'm just imagining that my 7-year-old is sitting next to me, and we're like, looking at people. I'm like, seeing what she's observing, and I'm like really paying attention to her. Just, nobody knows that I'm doing this, but I'm establishing a deeper and deeper connection with my inner child, because I know that she has been really overseen. I know she was this musical theater child that was just performing out there, and she felt that nobody cares how I feel. So I, as the adult Jannike, I want to care about how she feels. So guys, I'm so excited for what you will experience and what will unfold doing this meditation, because this is a powerful, powerful transformational technique. When we connect with our inner children, that's when we're embracing so much more of who we are. That's where the magic it will start happening. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, and I'd love to hear from you what your experience is with the inner child meditation. Much light from here. Bye!